trash.
Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome, everyone, to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Oh, hello, Sean.
Hello. Yes.
We are in the same room.
Yes, we are in the same room. We are not in our studio.
No.
A little smoky. I would say the studio has a nice mesquite flavoring going. My house, Kramer's house, the studio should be all fine and well, knock on wood, but it is super smoky. So we did the healthy, responsible thing and said, hey, let's go to Las Vegas. It was the easy sell to the wife. We don't want to be breathing this.
Yeah.
We want the delicious, recycled, smoke-filled, but, Parliament Lights, Camel Light smoke-filled air of Las Vegas. Let's do the safe, responsible thing. So we got an Airbnb in Las Vegas. We'll be doing our VSiN show tomorrow night at the Circa. We're here. We'll be knocking out the pregame shows. So, of course, the shows are coming. Apologies to the couple people that were angry on the YouTube start time. You got to bear with us. The whole city was burning down. We had to move the operation, but we will not be denied, right? Any chance corporate gambling was involved in the arson that may have started some of these fires?
I have seen that it's not. I've been told by a couple of people it's not natural, and that this could be some sort of energy weapon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So look out, energy weapon.
I like to answer questions, but some of the things that people have thrown at me this week, unreal. Thank you for telling me about the water situation. That's super useful right now.
Yeah. We could talk fires all day, but
the fire is going to be these picks.
Oh, yes. And we got a fire show joining us on the line to talk all things props. The laddie daddy himself from the Bottom Line Bombs podcast, Mr. CJ Sullivan. What's happening, CJ?
What's up, fellas? Good to see you guys together. It's weird to see you guys so together like this. When you're in the studio, you have the little social distancing thing, but this is great. You guys did the responsible thing. You packed the family, you packed the dogs, you packed the plants, you drove out there to Nevada, and you guys are all together. I imagine the family is around the table right now, listening and sitting Indian style, kind of admiring, seeing how dads do it. You know how they bring home the bacon up close. I mean, what a treat for them this must be.
Yes.
I will say you probably can't escape the podcast if you're in the house. It's very open, cavernous. You probably hear an echo right now. It's
My wife loves Super Wildcard Weekend props, so this will be a nice treat for her.
Wow, that is nice. And I am here, and I know you did responsible thing. I call it the cowardly thing. Just like 9/11. I don't let the fire win by leaving. Okay, listen, I had to literally get out of my apartment. Flames went up to my window, but I said, you know what? I like this air. It reminds me of the East Coast autumn with a little bit of destruction and emphysema, black lung, whatever. I take it in. I'm not letting the fire win just because it's destroying everything around it. I'm right here.
Yeah. DJ was
tough guy.
Was in the Hollywood Hills and things got a little hot, and the heat was in the hat, as they used to say out.
Sunset Fire, as they're calling it, right below Runyon Canyon, exactly where I live. And there was a wall of I got a text message, and I saw a wall of fire pretty much like come up right above this building above us. And my first thought was literally, man, I'm gonna get a lot of text messages. This is gonna suck.
This
is gonna suck.
Oh my God.
Get out of here. Yeah.
I do appreciate everyone reaching out, and thank you everyone doing good at SGPN. But some of the random ass people you hear from, it's like, wait, this guy, I did open mics with him 10 years ago, and he's wondering how I'm doing. And then some people, it is funny. So yeah, appreciate everyone reaching out, but it is a very hey, they see it on the news and they're like, Sean's my one friend from LA that I was, 12 years ago, we were PAs together on Entertainment Tonight or something, and sent in a text message, hey, good to hear from you. Yeah, no, I'm not. I haven't been burned alive. Thank you.
It is funny. Not that we're doing it, obviously, but then you see the people we do know in LA or whatever that around LA that like had their dramatic posts, like me and Fluffy the cat, we got out, we were okay. The Wi-Fi was a little spotty for a little bit. Like you live in Irvine, relax. Nothing's going on with you. I was literally in gridlock for 3 hours, like a zombie elliptic movie, trying to get out. Everyone laying on a horse, jumping on top of each other, throwing things through windshields. But hey,
I mean, in classic Hollywood area fashion, I saw there were reports of people running with suitcases. So, the idea of remaining calm and orderly in the exit, probably that flew out the window.
That's crazy.
LA people here? No.
We had, CJ texted us, everyone's doing their part and laying on the horn. It was great.
Very helpful.
I mean, it's like bumper to bumper. It's like, I'll just lay on the horn. That'll unjam this traffic.
This should open everyone's eyes to the reason, like, you have to have a plan to get out of LA, no matter what. Yeah. Too 100%. Much. I see there's every way out is going to be filled with idiots. And I mean, I ran into it even coming out to Vegas. It's just roads are filled with idiots. And for whatever reason, the fire and the smoke in the sky creates this scenario where everyone gets scared and drives even slower. So it's just like, we're not getting out of here anytime soon.
Yeah. And as my friend said in the post, LA drivers just don't know how to drive in a fire. You know what I mean? Like when there's a fire out, they just don't know how to drive. That was true yesterday and today. So, but we're here. We're doing it. Let's go.
We're here. We're doing it. Well, I do have to read if you're watching on youtube.com/sportsgambling podcast, I do have to read the sign that is behind me, as it's just the classic Airbnb sign. It's right. I mean, Ryan, and this is a missed opportunity, but we really needed to print out a live, laugh, lean poster, have Jake make one of those and just like hang it up at this Airbnb because it would fit right in.
They would never.
No, in this house, we do real, we do laughing, we do mistakes, sharing, I'm sorry, forgiveness, second chances, hugs and kisses. We do music, we do fun and loud, really loud. We love, we are family. So very great, inspiring message right next to the really pool table, right next to the poker. Like we're broadcasting from this poker table. Which,
can you do some editing on that? Like we do ladders, we do props, we do that. Like you just put that like over each one. You know what I mean?
Maybe
like,
we just repaint it. We do parlays.
I'll get the kids
tournament damage, but cover it up with like another word or something. Have the kids. The kids would love to do that. Like little arts and crafts project.
Yeah,
you should see my trash cans after asking the little one to make sure that next time we have a storm, someone doesn't steal a trash can. They're completely bedazzled and got a paint job. It's very nice. But yeah, she could probably get ladder in there somewhere.
Yeah, kids love ladders.
Yeah, trash can update for me personally. If you listen to the NFL Picks show, my Christmas tree that the city did not pick up because it fell out of the bin. And thus, I don't know if they like to have the NFL rules where it's like if the tree is touching the ground, they won't pick it up. Dried out Christmas tree, which is a ball of kindling, still there. Thank you, LA.
The tree is still there?
Yeah, I mean, I put it in the bin on the day it was supposed to go out. Yeah. Obviously, wind blew it over while I was at work, making a living to pay the taxes and pay the LA DWP bill. And I'm if it hit, if they have to get out of the truck, they're not going to. They have that robotic arm. All the heavy.
I'll say this, a funny side note. As I was getting out of Hollywood yesterday, and the buildings were okay. Like the fire was coming up, but the palm trees you just couldn't get them out. Like they're on fire for like 4 or 5 hours, and people were on roofs like putting regular hoses on it, and like fire like they're yelling. They got in an argument about if they were insidious or not. Like weren't they brought in like imported like in the 50s? Like get these things out of here. Like these aren't even regular palm trees. It's that damn In and Out. They made it a logo, and now we can't get rid of it. Like these are the problem. I just love blaming the palm trees for everything because there's climate change, there's the liberal politics or palm trees, and I go with palm trees.
whatever you like to blame.
Yeah, you gotta blame something.
Yeah. Shout out to Mayor Karen Bass, just dominating performance. I was explaining to my wife the meme that goes around in sports. I don't know if you've seen these, but it was like, hey, either catch a football or become super Jamaican, George Pickens. And then it's like a video of this super guy going Jamaican, just going super Jamaican. And I go, I'm gonna redo that George Pickens meme for our mayor for a joke that like 4 people will get that are in the LA area that also know George Pickens cost them in props. But I do think he has a bounce back game, and we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to a ton of NFL picks, NFL props. We're here in Las Vegas. CJ on the line. What more could you want? In playoffs. We are talking about playoffs. You bet we are. Getting the action over at DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the National Football League. And they're all about promoting the TD bets. Ryan and I love good TDs, and you got first touchdown, anytime, 2 touchdown. I'm sure we'll be talking about that here in just a second. Some of our favorite props happen to be some of the TD prices over on DraftKings, including A.J. Brown, anytime touchdown, plus 120. I think that's a great price. We will be talking about that. Obviously, lines, objects, subject to change. But of course, DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code SGP. If you haven't downloaded DraftKings, what are you waiting for? That's code SGP for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Imagine what you could do with $200 in bonus bets. Super Wild Card Weekend only on the DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Now we got a request that the fans wanted a live read of the disclaimer. So here we go. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus specs expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gambling resources, visit dkng.co/audio. Kramer?
Crushed it.
People said they missed me doing the live disclaimer. So there you go, audience. Enjoy.
We need to get AI Sean to do it.
Well, normally any voice requests, it's usually for Kramer. He's got that deep baritone that certain portion of the audience find. It's like ASRM for some of the audience. Kramer's deep baritone. So Kramer, what's your first NFL prop? Super Wild Card Weekend. And we, unlike the commissioner in the league, we're still calling it Super Wild Card Weekend.
I did hear a couple decent theories on why they're pulling back Super. My favorite one, it's because they plan on using it again in 2 years when the playoffs go to 8 teams per conference. They want to give it a cooling off period.
That is
before they
that
roll
is
it back
so
out.
Our commissioner. That is a great theory. 100% in on it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good theory. All right, so my props will be going chronologically.
Okay.
No big deal.
Yeah, I think we're going to do one for every game. We'll save our Monday night props for the Sunday night recap show, unless and we will talk a little futures. I know DraftKings promo code SGP has the playoff leaders stat lead. That market is super fun. Got some stuff there. We got a lot. Kramer, what do you got?
All right, so I had some time in the car on the way out here doing some deep diving.
Really? So wait, do you drive or was your wife drive?
Most of the time, but today it was daytime. There were a lot of aspects that lined up perfectly where it was like, all right, cool. I'm going to crush some props on the way out to Vegas,
Nice.
aka escaping a fire situation. But there's a banger of an anytime touchdown in this game that I'm going to save and talk about a little bit later. But I'm going to go right to Mr. John Mechie.
Oh, okay.
So I was digging around in terms of, other than the running game, what matchup do I really like for the Texans in this for their offense let's say the running game works and the play action game works off of that. How do you attack this Chargers defense? Well, basically anyone not the number one receiver in offenses has had some success. So John Mechie is an interesting one here. And I'm not going to his yards. I'm going to his longest catch. It's 19. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not going to his longest catch. I have I have 2 longest catches on the card. This is not one of them. I'm going to his yardage prop, 19.5. You got to pay a little bit of juice with the minus 125, but he's basically gotten over this. Lost my tab. He's gotten over this number in 7 of the last games. And the last 2 for sure. I mean, basically since the absence of Tank Dell, which Tank Dell went down in was it the nationally televised game against Baltimore, or was
Kansas City?
Kansas
Yeah,
City.
it was a
Okay,
game
so
that were actually
Mechie comes in against Baltimore, 48 yards, then 24 last week against Tennessee. Maybe a garbage data point, but yeah, give me John Mechie against this Chargers defense, 19.5 receiving yards over.
nice and low. CJ, what are you doing? What's
ladder? Yeah, exactly. This one you would circle with the ladder pen.
CJ, what?
Right. Well, since we're doing Houston Texans and a team that plays at this 4:30 slot every single playoff appearance in the franchise history,
What's a slot?
it's just appropriate that I would do my Houston Texans bet every single time.
Oh, come on. The fans won. Give it to him, CJ.
The apostrophe himself, Kami Fairbarn. I mean, over 1.5 field goals made. Not last time I remember in the chat, I didn't play it, and they're like, I bet $20. He does it kind of in the ilk where they make fun of you, Sean. Like, why does he pick the Broncos every week?
Yes.
I don't know. They're just one of the best teams against the spread. I don't know. Fairbairn over 1.5 field goals is only 14-3 this year. Is that a bad bet to have? I'm sorry. Is that a bad play every week? No, he did not. He did not hit last week was the big game. Then he had 0 in that horrible Christmas game, of course.
Yeah,
and that was devastating. Because of that, the juice came down on it. You have to go back before he did not kick 1 field goal or less. September 29th was the last time he did not make this number, other than that 0 on Christmas. And so the juice is down to minus 130 for Fairbairn, over 1.5 field goals made in a tight defensive game. I expect here versus Chargers. I love coming back. Love giving them a cooling off week period over the holidays. Now let's bring it back. Now that the juice came back to us, Fairbairn smash play, over 1.5 field goals made.
Smash! It seems like an obvious play. I made sure not to lean into this. I will be playing this. As well,
I mean,
obviously.
it's CJ's thing. It's a great thing.
He's the K-prop guy.
Well, there was a time I dabbled with the kicking props. I angered the audience, but CJ found the niche. He found a heater. He found the perfect dome kicker. And I like the Chargers red zone defense to slow him down and put him in those kicking situations. I do like Ladd McConkey. I think he's going to have a decent game because of volume. But I think an interesting angle is Will Dissly touchdowns in particular. You look at the Texans, they're decent catch and yardage against the tight end, but touchdowns, they've allowed 8 so far to the tight end this season. That's good for 4th in the NFL. So that weakness and Will Dissly, I think, a decent matchup for them. I'm going to take the Will Dissly anytime touchdown plus 350 over on DraftKings. Good spot for him. And you look at Quentin Johnson is a little banged up. Some of the other ancillary receivers, I think even Justin Herbert anytime touchdown could be interesting as well. But I'll go Will Dissly plus 350. I think Ladd, they're going to try and I think he's going to get there volume wise. But his numbers are pretty high. I do still like his over, but I don't know. I think the Dissly touchdown price is too tempting to pass up. Kramer, what are you doing next game?
Ladd's big time chalk. Also,
I mean, he's
be worried about
he's
that.
big time chalk. I like it. I think it's going to be Ladd and Dissly, and I think that's going to be the majority of who they throw to. Quentin Johnson, Trey Palmer, they're both banged up. So yeah, I don't know. And also too, like I did pick the Chargers, but the fact that it's the 3rd road game, it's a Saturday, I don't know.
You're backing off it all right. I mean,
I don't.
will you be picking the Texans on the Beeson show?
No.
Okay.
I'm sticking with the Chargers because ultimately Harbaugh and Herbert, I believe in them over Stroud and DeMeco Ryans. But the fact that you got to travel, the Saturday thing, the fires, the messing with the prep, I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm still in Harbaugh. But Kramer, what are you doing for the next game? The Sunday or Saturday night Steelers Ravens.
For what it's worth, I would handicap the Fires having more impact on the Rams. Their facilities north. The Chargers, I believe, are further south. So I have two fabulous plays here, but I really do. It's like I can't really go wrong with either one of these. I love both of them. I have an inkling that one of you may discuss one of them, so I'll go to my Jaylen Warren prop. We're gonna go Jaylen Warren receiving yards.
Okay,
had 0 last week.
He sure did.
But
I say that as a bitter gambler on Jaylen Warren last week, not as in, diss him.
In the weeks before that, in the game against the Chiefs, he had 41. In the previous game against the Ravens, he had 44. In the game back on November 17th against the Ravens, he had 27. He's been getting involved in the offense a bit more. The number's only 21.5, Sean.
Yeah.
So we're playing Jaylen Warren over 21.5 receiving yards. Thank you.
Thank you. CJ, what do you got for this Steelers Ravens?
No, I love the Jaylen Warren. I was on him last week. He was on fire, ready to come in, and it was the Najee renaissance for some reason. All of a sudden, Tomlin's like, "Yeah, why not? We'll let Najee run it. Who cares about this?
Everything's a test."
Right." For this game, and this is another one that's almost as consistent as Fairbairn, not 14-3 consistent, but I mean, for the last half of the season, this has been solid. Mark Andrews anytime touchdown, he's at plus 155. I saw that for that. He has scored a touchdown in the last 6 games.
Crazy.
7 of the last 8 and 11 touchdowns in the last 12 games. I mean, that's a pretty decent high clip. I don't understand. And we're still getting around plus 155, 160, wherever you're looking around there. I mean, of course, the one game he did not in the last 8 was that Steeler game, but that's when they had scored no touchdowns, the 18-16 game. But I mean, last 6 games touchdown. He started off the season, I think, for first 6 weeks. That's what it was. Everyone's gonna bust, and all of a sudden, but since then, since that week 7 when he scored a touchdown there, he has been on absolute fire. Lamar Jackson back to being the only guy he trusts in there, so I love him anytime touchdown here in this great game. I'm looking forward to this game actually. But plus 155 Andrews, I mean, lock that up.
Yeah, watch all the games. It's crazy to me the amount of times Andrews has seen the end zone. I feel like I've somehow missed a lot of them live.
Well, it's too because I already took the victory lap when he started out slow. I'm like, I told everyone Isaiah Likely. This guy's been talking about it. I stopped mentioning Isaiah Likely or Mark Andrews because Mark Andrews started to call CJ's point. Like he just went on a heater here and just catches a ton. And I mean, I haven't seen any injury updates. I was driving, trying to avoid fires. Apologies to the 2 people that were bad in the YouTube chat.
Yeah, there was.
I get it. We set the start time. We try and start on time. Fucking DoorDash guy didn't deliver the food on time.
The food was a bit smoky. It got through the bags. I mean, come on.
Oh, come on.
What we got to go through.
I don't want to be rude, but if you're shocked that we're starting late, you must be new around here. I mean, it's the opposite of Tomlin time. Just whatever the start time is, add 25 minutes, bang.
Yeah, it's like who was your last good head coach, Ryan?
What do you mean, Tom Coughlin? That's
Tom
the
Coughlin.
opposite of Coughlin time.
There you go.
So, but honestly,
you said Coughlin, and I heard Tomlin.
We have to give it's giving the chat space so they can mingle. You know, have a cocktail chat before the big show starts.
Well,
before we flicker the lights.
A great reminder. Turn on the notifications because then you'll get you'll get the ding when we actually. So that sorts out that. Where was I? We were talking Steelers Ravens. We were talking Isaiah Likely, who God bless him and his size 12.5 shoes being out of.
And as Mike pointed out in the chat, he did score against Pittsburgh as well. Likely did.
Yeah. So in this Ravens game, I'm going to take. I know I just compared him to Karen Bass. That was via meme, but George Pickens,
Oh,
I
wow.
do like the ultimate redemption story. Over 53.5 receiving yards. I'm taking the receiving yards because it's all it takes is like one deep shot with Pickens to get there.
Yeah.
And if you remember the last time, he didn't play the last time Steelers Ravens went. The game before, where they were moving the ball and they were taking advantage of the Ravens' inability to slow down the receivers. The Ravens are really bad at letting up receiving yards to receivers. 8 catches, 89 for George Pickens. I think this is the ultimate bounce back spot. He's coming off a horrific game, 6 targets, 1 catch. He had and 0 yards. Some people had it at -1, but either way, it's not good. But like, look at like the game against the Steelers, game against the Bengals. There, 3 for 74, 8 for 89, 5 for 91, 4 for 74. All it takes is a couple of these deep shots to hit, and all of a sudden they're cooking with gas. 53.5, very doable for my buddy George Pickens.
I know the chat, so they and the podcast listeners, they're always asking me for something from the private stock. So, and I'll offer you an upgrade opportunity and something from the private stock at the same time.
What is that?
I have a George Pickens bet in the pocket already.
Ooh.
It was what I decided to go with the Warren one for the show because I figured you would be talking about Pickens, and then it would give me an opportunity to slide out the private stock. Pickens longest reception.
Oh, okay. What does that say?
It's 22. It's 22 or 23.5 everywhere. And it doesn't matter. You can pick either one of those numbers. You look at what he's done recently. So, of course, last week, 0. Not a good week. But before that, Kansas City, 41. Then he missed 3 games. Cincinnati, 36. Cleveland, 31. Baltimore, 37. Washington, 34. Giants, 43. It does not seem to be priced accordingly.
No.
So I would imagine, Sean, you should play both.
Yeah. I'm going to be in.
I have 2 questions regarding that. One football related, one Airbnb related. The football one is: are either of you concerned that Pickens is disinterested in the sport of football right now?
Oh.
He's not interested at all in playing, or does he enjoy it?
The interviews with him where they I laugh every time I talk about it. I don't know why it kills me, because they go so Russ said you and him weren't on the same page on the interception there, and he goes, you said that?
Right.
He goes, no Russell said you guys weren't on the same page. And the guy and George Pickens goes, Russ said that? And he goes, yeah, Russ was saying you guys weren't on the same page there. What do you do to correct that? And he goes, Russ said it, right? And then and the guy goes, yeah. And then he just pulls up his like turtle.
Yeah.
Seems like a mature adult.
And then he just turns to his locker and just starts like, oh, no. Like, this guy's a psycho.
Funny.
And the psycho receivers, Tomlin knows how to get the best out of them.
Yeah, fair enough.
The other one
was real quick. Did the Airbnb come stocked with liquor, or was it already there? Did Ryan do? I know you were there earlier. Whoever was there earlier went out and got it for us, because I don't know if one was. I'm just glad I'm not under the same roof. It sounds like there's private stocks going on, sharing of Pickens. I mean, God bless both your families under there. It's going to be a hell of a weekend.
Listen, CJ, you travel with kids. You bring everything. We got.
That's all I want to know. I see the poster behind you. It seems like it's a loving, fun place.
Well, yeah, we even bring up our own, decals for the wall. All right, where are we at?
We are at Broncos and Bills, and shout out to the Hastronaut, all-time YouTube chat name, saying hopefully didn't miss any bow talk or leans.
Nope.
No, we got bow talk coming for you. No leans. Kramer, what do you got for the Broncos game?
Okay, so again, I
and shout out to everyone who reached out via DM to try and talk me out of the Broncos money line. Not gonna do it. Appreciate the concern. CJ, you've had people who needed to, visit rehabilitation programs in their life. I felt like that was the feedback I was getting from people where they were like, hey man, I know you're going through something. Right. You don't need to pick the Broncos money line. I go, I believe even more now.
Are you sure? Exactly. Are you sure this is what you want to do? I mean,
hey man, I'm saying, like, a lot of the DMs normally, it's funny. Like, normally if people chirp like, your pick's trash, blah, 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 you're wrong. These people reaching out after I gave out Broncos money line, it was really just out of love. A lot of it felt like, where go, hey man, I'm just checking in on you. You don't have to take the Broncos money. There's another way. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired. It doesn't have to be like this.
You're an adult. Far be it to me to tell you what to do with yourself. But I mean,
a guy started off with, he goes, don't get me wrong, man. I love the show. It's coming from a place of love. So appreciate
that's not the way. You're just going to go in harder now.
Still on the Broncos money line. Kramer?
All right. So, I gave myself 2 outs for each game.
Also, I wish the NFL schedulers would have broke up the Broncos and the Eagles game.
Why?
Well, I don't, because
too
now,
much.
Well, now I'm in
adrenaline.
Money line big, and if it doesn't hit,
oh no,
the
you saying
Eagles
bad energy?
No, it's just I don't want to. I would have preferred it not back to back. It would have been a great Saturday night game.
They're not connected.
No, they aren't. But just for me, rooting interest wise,
I think you're looking at it the wrong way. I think you're looking at one hell of a Sunday coming your way.
That's also pretty.
I think it's one
of the Broncos money line.
Yeah,
just rolling right into the Eagles, smashing the Packers.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying. That's what it's going to be, and especially a weekend like this. Anytime there's these natural disasters and you're away, it doesn't seem like reality. It makes things better. You're just on this wave.
Play with house money.
Everything's a free roll.
Yes, it's like
Sean just got caught exuding a very low level of confidence for his Eagles. He was letting the Broncos money line get in the way.
No. I'm just saying that there's a lot of rooting interest back to back.
I know. You're worried.
I think he's going to take that wave. You're going to hunker down. You're going to watch it in the Airbnb, maybe. I mean, that's what I'm looking for.
This is a great setup to watch some games.
Sure.
Kramer, give us a Broncos Bills play.
I gotta there's 2 options I'm staring at right now. So I'm gonna go back to longest reception. Again, digging around. Sometimes it's as simple as, hey, look, has this happened recently? Well, what if I told you there's a guy on the Denver Broncos who in 6 of his last 7 games has gone over his longest reception number of 19.5 over on DraftKings? With 37, 37, 93, that should give it away. 53, 51, and 32 yard longs. Marvin Mims.
Yeah.
Finally, Sean Payton has a new adopted son on the team. The strange dialogue between him and the media about Marvin Mims that has just completely teased the fantasy community for years.
To your point, like, he kept saying, we love Marvin.
And then he just put him in the cage, didn't let him out.
We're getting him involved.
Well, he's out. Again, he's only gone under this number once in the last 7 games. And they're going to have to do some stuff in this one, I think. I think they're going to have to do some stuff to keep up with Josh. So Marvin Mims, longest reception, 19.5 yards. Over.
Like,
DJ, what are you doing here? Bills, Broncos.
Love the longest reception theme you got going on, Kramer. I mean, something happened on that road trip. Somewhere around Barstow, something locked in on you, and I love it. You plus that Area 54 or whatever is going on, that rest stop. Something happened with the jerk.
Got some alien jerky.
I like the idea that we're just selling smoked aliens out in the desert. No, I had a. Where's the FDA on this one?
I had a really long conversation with someone once out here in Vegas the guy was pretty gacked out of his mind, we'll say. That's on weird. Some sort of drugs, whatever it was. And I go, alien jerky. Tell me, are we saying that the jerky meat you're eating is made out of dead aliens or super cool aliens who know how to make beef jerky? was a good hour of conversation I'll never get back. Because, see, I mean, CJ, you've seen the alien jerky signs. Yep. Is it that we're eating the aliens or the aliens make the jerky?
I think we're the jerky. And the aliens are the one.
Okay, I like it. So that, yeah, maybe just some of these like weirdos who, yeah, you'll be like driving from LA to Vegas, and they'll just be like these, just like completely empty desert, and then just one like 100 square foot house, and you're like, who is living here? What is this guy up to? The towns with the giant thermometer.
No need to find out. No need to find out.
Yeah, so maybe it's just the like a couple of those guys, the aliens turn into jerky. But CJ, what are you doing for this game?
All right. Well, this game, I also don't want to step on any bow toes here. I mean, I imagine you're all over the bow, but I feel also if I go on the other side that I'm going against your bow. So I don't know what to do here, really. I mean, I have a couple, as Ryan says, I have a lot of plays I like it. I don't know. I know you like their bow next rushing. Did you ever dabble the rushing attempts there, Sean? Is that, am I stepping on any bow toes there if I throw that? Because I have other ways I can go.
No, but honestly, because I was on another show and I gave out his rushing yards. I think it was 23.5, and now I looked up, it's all the way up to like 28.5.
Yeah, so I didn't like the yards. It was too much for the yards.
Got a little out of control. If you're not gonna the rushing attempts at 5.5 over, I like that because Bo Nix is gonna be kneeling it out to win his first playoff game.
Well, to be honest,
5.5 is plus 100. Are you in?
I know it's plus. I saw plus 105, whatever. But I mean, either way, it's plus money for over 5.5 rushing attempts for Bo Nix. He had 7 last week. He had 7 the week before that. 3 before that, but then 8 before that. So 3 the last 4. He's had at least 7 rushing attempts. You know, he started out huge, obviously, with the rushing, but then he kind of got a middle low when he started chucking the ball. And now that the game started mattering again, you know, we started at least intensifying, you know, with the playoff. That's when he starts running the ball, and he has to, along with throwing the ball. So I kind of like that attempt. I mean, if you also wanted to, Josh Allen is 7.5 attempts. I like that as well, too. Give me Bo Nix over 5.5 rushing attempts at plus 105.
Yeah, 100% co-signing it. Any of the Bo stuff, even if you want to sprinkle a little Bo Nix, anytime Tutty at 4-1, I think is good too.
I think both rookie QBs rushing attempts are interesting plays.
Yeah, Josh Allen too, as well.
I love Josh Allen's too.
I mean, Jaden Daniels had 16 attempts last time he played.
I know. That was the sweat. I had the 100 yards, 2 touchdown sweat week 1 in Vegas. We were there.
Right. That was fun. And Kramer, you were mentioning Marvin Mims, and Easy pointed out in the chat to roll back or run back the 2 touchdown stuff. He hit 2 touchdowns, 28-1 right now over on DraftKings for Marvin Mims back-to-back weeks. Now I know one of those weeks was against this Chiefs team that was laying down, but if you're optimistic about the Broncos, hard to not imagine Marvin Mims involved either anytime or two tutties.
What's that weather looking like in that game?
That's a good question. I don't think it's it's Buffalo, so I don't think it's ever good. But Sunday, I might get a little 20% humidity sitting at like, 30 degrees ish.
I mean, not that it should matter. I mean, they're from Denver for crying out loud.
Yeah.
It's not like it's Tampa Bay coming up there. I just want to make sure the conditions are okay. It's not like some crazy, not like the fans are going to have to help shovel out this week or something like that. So the game gets played.
Oh, easy with the Bo Nix, Marvin Mims anytime. Parlay.
Easy, just hitting the parlays in the chat. I love it.
Easy, very good. Giving out picks and plays, and also just awesome in the Discord as well. Make sure you get into the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Kramer, what do you got?
All right.
Wait, did you give out your what was your play then, Sean?
I'll say officially the Bo Nix over 5.5 rushing attempts.
Oh, okay.
You're getting called out there.
What do you mean?
Like, what's the play?
Well, I mean, I didn't. I know he's got a whole Bo Nix menu and he talked a lot of Denver. I want to make sure. I play all these. I mean,
yes.
Bo Nix put in all 15. I got to put in all 15 of these.
If you're a atheist when it comes to Bo leaving, I still think the over 5.5 rush attempts is still your best bet, and especially at the plus odds. Yeah,
not the interception.
No, he's not throwing an interception. No. No.
Impossible. A rookie quarterback in a playoff road start? Impossible.
No, come on.
Impossible. Yeah.
CJ, if you're needing to help wrap your head around it, just remember Jordan Love in Dallas. Exact same situation. First playoff start, 7 seed versus a 2 seed. It all tracks.
Okay.
One wasn't a rookie, but
Right.
But making his first playoff start, first year as a starter.
Sure.
I guarantee you, at the time of their first playoff start, Bo Nix has started more football games than Jordan Love.
And they were the only road team to win in this round last year. Was that 7 seed Green Bay over a 2 seed, and the tables are set the exact same way.
First and only 7 seed to do that.
Yes, let's go.
That's true.
I'm calling it a trend.
I mean, we can play this game. We're just a little ping pong at the old folks center. You want to throw trends at each other.
Hey, before we get to the Eagles game, underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Get in over there. We'll toss out an underdog entry. But if you haven't signed up, what are you waiting for? 50% deposit match up to $1,000. I mean, that's pretty. Bo Nix helped me cash a sweet underdog fantasy season long. I had Bo Nix higher passing yards with Geno Smith lower passing touchdowns, and it ended up being a little bit of a sweat because it came down to the last week, and it was just, hey, basically as long as he doesn't hit 5 passing touchdowns, I was gonna cash. And fucker hit 4 passing touchdowns. It was a real sweat. CJ was at that game. Electric.
Yep. It was electric.
Underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN.
I was going through the ones I hit for the season. I hit a Neighbors 4.5 passing touchdowns higher with a Luka points, rebounds, and assists from back in the NBA season.
I was drunk and I accidentally paired a Josh Allen week 1 with a Bryce Young season long, which it was very funny to just and Josh Allen hit it week 1. I think it was his yards or something, and then I had to wait out the Bryce Young passing touchdowns, which I thought was going to get voided because I didn't think he was going to play enough games, and then he ended up playing like I think people are now optimistic on Bryce Young, but his season under still smashed. So let's go, baby. Kramer, what do you got for the Eagles game?
Why? All right. So first of all, shout out to the Jordan Love heads out there. His interception price is -170.
Wow.
I can't even play it. Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. Very simple system. -115 is the best you can find out there.
Yeah.
Go find it.
I mean, he's going to get in the end zone. That we know. CJ, what do you got?
It's actually a little parlay because both of the juices are pretty high. Just kind of like your 170. I got Saquon Barkley over 1.5 receptions. That's -180. So I didn't want to play that with a juice. I don't want to give out a -180 play. So I'm parlaying that with Josh Jacobs over 2.5 receptions at -160. Parlay that together, and you got a +150. Nice little banger. Both running backs to get 2-3 catches. Now Saquon has gone over 1.5 receptions 5 of the last 7 games. One of those games he did not was when Hurts got hurt in versus Washington. Although that surprised me more that they did not throw him more screen passes because that's when Washington just absolutely stuffed the box after that first quarter with Kenny Pickett in there. But I think both things. Now Jacobs has 4 catches the last three of the last 4 games. So he kind of skews over. I think both teams, especially Green Bay, I think they'll have a little trouble running the ball against the Eagles' rush defense. So I think they still want to give them the ball, obviously, and I think they're going to have to think of more creative ways, more screen passes, more just under pressure check downs. So I like Jacobs and Barkley to clear. You just got to get 3 catches for crying out loud for Jacobs and just 2 for Saquon.
Well, and Jacobs is, I feel like he zigzags. He goes 0 catches and like 4 or 5 catches.
That's what he does. He does 4 and 0, but most likely more 4. And a game, an all-out playoff game like this, they're going to have to give him the ball more. And running it up off tackle is just not going to cut it all day.
Easy in the chat pointing out, instead of taking the Jordan Love interception, take the guy that he thinks is going to get the interception. CJGJ plus 650. Yeah, I would say if and when the Eagles get an interception, CJGJ or Reed Blankenship, those are the guys that get the INTs for the
I have to say I love Easy here, and I love it. I love his mentality too. He did the same thing there with the Bo Nix. Like, why are you playing a 110, 120 play a Bo Nix when you could get my guy at plus 700? I mean, if it's going to be a pick, it's going to be Christian Benford. What are we talking about here? I love that mentality, and I'm all in on that.
Yes, Easy knows what's up. For me, I think at least for part of the game, Packers are going to be of the mindset of, oh, hey, you know, they were probably watching the TMZ, the Joy Taylor, the Ryan Kramers, the people trying to, is Jalen Hurts okay? Will he be at the game? So I think we're going to try and force the Eagles to pass.
So he's good?
And yes, he's good. And A.J. Brown. The dude is just unguardable. He owns these Packers receivers. If you recall from that opening game, and the cornerback situation has just gotten worse for Green Bay. So AJ Brown plus 120, plus 125s are out there. He's getting in the end zone with the football. Give it to me. Let's go.
No, he did pop up on the injury report, right? Yesterday or something like that. Now, I believe that's also false. The reason why, not false, but, nothing to worry about. I knew he was fine. And Kramer, you would like this, even though you like to obviously troll and not.
He's hurt too?
And not admit it in front of your housemate. But they were asking the Eagles what's their favorite cheese. One of those, the social media team doing that, trying to get them like TikTok video together. And that one, AJ Brown had a theory that 90% of cheese he doesn't think is real. You think it's all fake. Yeah, he has some conspiracy about cheese in general. I thought you could get behind something like that.
I mean, AJ Brown. What's going on? I mean,
he suggested everyone burn their cheese, and if that doesn't burn, then don't eat it. Like it's just like this plastic thing, I guess. I don't know what it's
like the people who say birds aren't real. I don't even know where do you start on that one.
Well, at least there you have some basis for reality. The cheese thing is very confusing.
So burn your cheese, everybody.
Birds are obviously just surveilling us, right?
Kramer, what's last game we're gonna do, and we'll do the Monday night props on the Sunday recap show. Bucks at Commanders at Bucks. What do we like?
Yeah, I mentioned the Jaden Daniels rush attempts. Similarly to Bo Nix, I think that like the rookies just first playoff game makes a lot of sense. But let's keep the longest reception game going. Because I think you're going to talk about the other. I have a couple different flavors in the private stock for this game, but we'll stick with the longest reception, and we'll do it with a running back, Sean.
Okay,
I've been all in on Bucky Irving. I think he's going to be my most exposed. By the way, I've done more of the underdog playoff drafts. It's just all Bucks teams. I'm just loading up on the Bucks. I need to figure out a way. Maybe I should be betting the Bucks to win the NFC. But Bucky Irving to have his longest reception over at DK, Sean, is 11.5. Last week against the Saints, only 2. We're going to chalk this up as a weird game, right? Before that, Carolina 42, Dallas 12. We're going to skip the Chargers because that was -1. Not very good. Raiders 15, Panthers 16, Giants Niners 12. Again, 7 of the last 10. It's gone over this number. And you look at this matchup, and again, this is a Bucky Irving game. Other guys are going to have some stats, but Bucky Irving's going to have a game.
Yeah.
Longest reception over 11.5 yards.
I mean, I think I do think there's something to the Lattimore stuff, at least slowing down Evans a little bit. I do think Jalen McMillan, he's fun in the FFPC stuff. I think he's fun. We'll get to the the playoff stuff as a whole. I think he's a fun long shot candidate. But for me, in a must-win game, and this playoff game is must-win. Let me double check. Yep, must-win.
Oh, you've called playoff games not must-win before.
Well, I think that was like in the FCS or one of those bullshit leagues we'll talk about. Baker Mayfield rushing yards against the Saints, 9 for 68. And I was talking to Chris, listener of the show, who was one of the one of the Circus Survivor winners. Maybe we're going to get him back on the VSiN show, Ryan. I was texting with him. And
oh man,
he's back out here to collect his giant check, a share of 14 million. So nice 1.7, I think. I don't count other guys' monies, but
something like that.
He's doing pretty good for himself. And I go, well, what's you got the hot hand. What do we like? And he was making a case for the Commanders. He goes, I don't know about this Bucs secondary. I'm like, you're just still sweating from last week.
Yeah.
You can't get your head straight. Baker Mayfield in that must-win game, 9 for 68. The Panthers game, obviously they blew him out. He didn't have to run. I don't see this being a blowout. He only had 1 for 2 there. Against Dallas, 3 for 42. Chargers, 2 for 25. It just seems like in big spots, he's a willing runner, and especially if they're slowing down Lattimore's slowing down Evans just a bit. His rushing yards are only 18.5. Could he run for 40, 50, 60? Maybe even get the ladder out here. I'll talk about that here more in a second. But CJ, what do you like in this game?
Yeah, gotta love the Baker rushing. That was the play of the game. I think that I remember a 3rd and 15 run he had last week, and he's I love Baker, love Tampa Bay. We gave it out in the Black Friday special.
We did. You're right.
We gave him out as NFC at 28-1, I believe, and that was just like whenever a game back of Atlanta. He's talking about how he's matured. I don't quite know how much I believe that. How he said, did you hear that when he says he doesn't bring receipts anymore? He doesn't hold receipts. Not a good way to live. Then they cut right to him. I mean, he was still doing the Italian mocking of DeVito. Don't tell me he doesn't hold receipts. Anyway, you mentioned Jalen McMillan. Obviously, I like his reception number actually more than the yard. The yard just kind of juiced up, but they really haven't really changed his receptions. It's plus 120 for over 4.5 receptions, which I think because he's had 5 catches the last 4 games, at least 5 catches the last 4 games. It's all on crazy. As soon as he stepped into the number 2 receiver slot, which was 6 games ago or something like that, he started off 7 targets. He had 4 catches, and 6 targets, 5 catches, 7 targets, 5 catches, 5 targets, 5 catches, 6 targets, 5 catches. That's the last 6 games. As soon as he became the number 2, I mean, they really haven't adjusted the number. Now you can get plus money to do what he does. He always does every week. I don't really get it. And I think this is going to be a shootout. This might be the top scoring game. Not trying to ladder that. I think because he doesn't get the volume that Mike Evans gets, but he catches him when he gets thrown to him, and it's usually because he's open. So give me over 4.5 receptions with Jalen McMillan plus 120. You gotta love that.
Yeah, especially against this Commanders secondary. I think there's going to be good opportunity.
Of course. Are we doing a separate ladder play? I forgot the rehearsal. I know you guys were. I tried to power through when you guys are doing the drive at 5, but
let's just talk ladders because for me it is give me the stick here.
Who you getting the stick?
Baker Mayfield.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
it's an easy transition. 25 is plus 135, 40 is plus 360, 50 is 6-1. He ran for 68 yards. Doesn't it feel like it's going to be a similar game to that New Orleans game where maybe if you want to get cute, you could take Washington to win the first half, Bucs win the game, because I could see them starting a hair slow. They did Gatorade. Mike Evans was out at the casino hanging out. I mean, couldn't you see him starting a little slow, and then Todd Bowles makes some decent adjustment. Dan Quinn fucks up everything. And then Baker just realizes he's got to run a couple times. And I also think the Washington defense, they're going to be fine letting Baker run. They're going to be, hey, we're not going to let Mike Evans beat us. That's what they'll try and slow down. Turn the back, with some man coverage. And I think Baker, 60 at 10-1. He had 60 yards last week. It feels like a similar game flow. So great opportunity for me. Kramer, do you have anything in the ladder factory over there?
Well, I think it's probably a little reckless to not play something George Pickens related. But I guess you could argue the low score. Now, what I would say is maybe I just don't have access, but I'm not seeing the alts on Mechie. I plan on playing a Mechie ladder. I think Mechie is going to have a couple big, like 25 to 30-yard catches in the play action game. And then it's gonna print. 19.5 is the base. So do the math. We're probably talking about a solid 60-yard 4-to-1 type situation.
Now this is great. I forgot. CJ mentioned we were driving out. We were trying to figure out, hey, what are we going to hit on for the show? Blah blah blah. What time? We don't want to inconvenience. Let's see. William. Who is complaining? I want to make fun of them a little bit.
Yeah, Sharp in his name. Maybe was he a plus EV guy? Hold on. At the very beginning of the chat.
William Reynolds, right?
Jeff Sharp.
Jeff Sharp.
Here, let's go. Here's the
Jeff Sharp and William Reynolds.
Let's take you through the journey.
Yeah.
Hey fellas, what can we do to get podcasts to start on time in the SGPN world? Which, by the way, we're getting dragged down by Colby too. I watch you guys religiously, and Colby and Mac as well.
Those guys never start on time.
Gets old when my notification goes off. Drop in crickets.
More like Jeff Square.
Quickly, Japan says, take a dab.
Problem solved. So what I was getting at was, I go, we were driving out to Vegas. It was a nice 5-hour cruise, and the text messages are coming in, and I'm driving, so I gotta hit the voice to text, and Siri reads your text messages off, see what's going on. And it was just cracking me up because it goes, CJ Sullivan shared a photo of a man standing on an aluminum ladder in khaki shorts. CJ Sullivan shared another photo of 3 people standing on a ladder with the dog.
God, that's amazing.
And this is CJ and his family.
It can interpret pictures like that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Jesus Christ.
So
That's incredible.
It was it just picks up certain random shit from these
You're getting awfully close with the robots.
old ladder photos of CJ and his family that they sent over that are great classic photos.
Yeah, I'm going through some family. Nothing says look at family photos more than natural disasters. So I'm at my sister's place here in Culver City because they do not identify as Los Angeles, and we're locked in, and so we got to bring up some old photos. And then I found a picture of the original Laddie Daddy, my dad, on a ladder outside.
Yeah.
Incredible. And me by the stool, kind of like admiring and learning how it works, So I sent it to you while you're driving. I'm glad the robots could appreciate it.
No, it's
a man in khaki shorts. That's amazing. Trying to describe Charlie Sullivan's wardrobe in the 80s.
It's funny, like what they can figure out and what they can't. It's pretty great.
Well, particularly with images, it's also just the way that they draw stuff. I'm telling you, it's like they haven't figured out a soul. The way that they you got to be careful with these AI beings. And also be nice to them.
Do you have a ladder for the good audience here?
Yeah, I do, but now I feel stupid about it because we have the ladder show tomorrow, and we're doing all the special props. I'll do a quick step. Oh, there. Yeah, that's the neighbors. Look at that. That's beautiful. That's Broadmoor, New Jersey, and in Somerdale. There's me down the bottom. Look at that beautiful patio furniture, too.
Oh, yes.
That is nice. That's a nice set with the barbecue. Oh, man, that's America.
Oh, man. Nice Weber grill there.
That you're doing it
right. That's a nice ladder.
Yeah,
I missed that one. I'll do a nice step ladder for us. I want to save a good one. Go ahead.
I'm saying just a nice little appetizer. We do have the Veasan show.
Yeah, so I'll save them in some of the main course for that one. But here's a little step ladder. I'm gonna go all the way back to that first game. This is a fun one. I was gonna throw this in the Degen parlay, but this is more of a nice, fun step ladder. Just sprinkle a little half a unit on this one. Am I to pretend I did not watch Dameon Pierce look like the old-fashioned Houston Texans Dameon Pierce? I mean, here we are. Them in the playoffs. They need to get their identity back. This new Joe Mixon personality, I don't know if it's working out. Let's bring back old Dameon Pierce. His anytime touchdown. This is insane. It's 12-1 at DK for an anytime touchdown. Pop it up to 2 touchdowns. That's 130-1 for Dameon Pierce. He's the backup running back. I can't see them the way he looked last. Not just the one he popped off for the big one, but like he also looked good. the rest of the game. I can see them at least get him some work in there. Maybe come in for a spell for mixing in the goal line, get him in the end zone. He knows how to find that end zone.
Yeah, and I think you can run on this Chargers team. Yeah. I do. When we were watching that game, I did lock up the Texans, and I go when Dameon Pierce broke it off. I go, Kramer, tell that man this game means nothing. Tell him.
Right. And then, but here he is, and he's a hot hand. Who knows? Are we crazy? 130 to 1 for 2 touchdowns.
That is a massive.
I love this.
Yes, sir. Massive play.
Great step ladder there with the 12 to 1. Love it. All right, so here's what we can do. Do we want to now?
We should do some of the playoff leaders.
Yeah, let's go to those. DraftKings. Shout out to them, promo code SGP, having these nice, super fun playoff leaders. And again, if you look at from like last year, it would surprise you that guys like I think Dalton Schultz, they only played 1 game, but he was tied. He was a dead heaving touchdown leader because he had 3 in that 1 game, even though that game they got knocked out. So obviously, if you think that team's going to go far, the more games played, certainly an advantage. But you can have, even if you play only 1 or 2 games, especially with the touchdown stuff. Obviously, with the yards, it's a little harder to get there in a smaller sample size. But the touchdown, the variance stuff is through the roof, in my mind. Kramer, what are some playoff leader stuff you like?
Well, I was a little surprised to see where Jared Goff was priced, if I'm being completely honest.
Now we're talking passing touchdowns, yards.
Honestly, name it, and I'm surprised that he's generally sitting in third. Sometimes, so he's 5 to 1, second to Lamar Jackson in passing touchdowns, 6 to 1, third behind Lamar and Josh Allen in passing yards. It just, I understand he has a bye. Yeah, I mean, that's what a lot of this is about. But if there's a team that it profiles to me more to play in consistent shootouts, and I think they're going to continue to win their games, it certainly is this Detroit team. So, like you mentioned, the touchdowns is where the variance lives. I'd probably take a piece of this Jared Goff passing yards because I'm not sure who else would sniff it. 6 to 1, kind of chalky, but that's something that stood out to me. In general, it feels like the Lions are being disrespected a bit because the bye. It's like the games being played late count the same as the games being played early, and I think the number is not affecting that.
CJ, what's a playoff leader you like?
Well, I was with you mentioning that stat of how a 1 and done or even 2 games could do it. It makes me think you look at games between. That makes me think of 2 games. It makes me think of Washington, Tampa, or Minnesota, and the Rams. Whoever the winner is of those games are going to put up numbers, and they have receivers that could dominate, your Pukas or Justin Jeffersons, but their numbers weren't great, only because they do like that because they're such big names. Puka was plus 750, Jefferson was plus 600. I didn't like that, but that did interest me for sure. I'll say that. But a couple deeper numbers for receiving touchdowns. I liked Mark Andrews. I already mentioned him how hot he is. It's just finding the end zone. He is. Maybe I was looking at yards. Hold on, let me look at the touchdowns. I'm sorry. I know he's at 10 to 1. Mark Andrews for touchdowns. Here it is.
Interesting.
Puka was 16 and Jefferson was 12 to 1, but Mark Andrews 10 to 1, which is third on the board. There's a bunch of them all clumped together like that. I like you got to like those teams, your Buffaloes and Baltimores and Phillies that are going to play 4 games hopefully without the bye. So I like Mark Andrews, and a shot for the Eagles there, who just came back week 18, get his reps back in. Dallas go Goddard, however you want to say. He's 40 to 1.
Yeah.
To lead the playoffs in touchdowns. If you talk about a team that's got a decent chance to get to the Super Bowl and he's just getting back in, he's their tight end 1 and he's hurts his safety blanket. I mean, I know you got to deal with AJ Brown, obviously, Devontae, and they rush the ball, but he can easily get 4 or 5 touchdowns, and that could be your leader in the clubhouse.
100%. Love that. And yeah, he was looking pretty good there. Obviously, he was filling in against the Giants. And,
Right.
Yeah, that's not a real football team, but I expect him to get involved there. Couple I like here. I'll give you Ladd McConkey for the receiving touchdowns. Ladd McConkey, 7 touchdowns, but he's also had two touchdown games. And the Chargers are favorites. So let's say they do. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Like you look at the other receivers in that price range. Either way bigger favorites. I guess maybe Jordan Addison, but he's not the number one option. And he hasn't had, I think he had 1 2-touchdown game. He hasn't had multiple 2-touchdown games. So 22-1 for Ladd. I mean, he's priced similar to Jalen McMillan in the receiving touchdowns thing, which I don't think they deserve to be that close, even though I am high on Jalen McMillan. If you're playing McMillan, I think the angle for me at least is you can find him 100-1 to lead the playoffs in receiving yards. And our buddy Adam Rosenberg tossed that one my way. I already got down on it. Jesus. 25 to win 2,500 there. I mean, the formula is pretty simple, right? Like, hey, game 1, they're all Lattimore's all over Mike Evans. He has a bunch of receiving yards. Game 2 goes on a little bit of a run. Game 3, they lose to the Eagles in the NFC Championship. So, could he get to like 400 receiving yards? I think there's a decent window, especially at 100-1. And again, they're favorites in that first game. So I think his path there is pretty fun. Those are 2 I liked. And one more, I'll give you a third. I'll shoot my whole shot here. This one's chalky, but I think it's a good play. Jalen Hurts rushing touchdown leader plus 750. I mean, the guy is a beast. He's their goal line back plus 750. He had 3 touchdowns in the Super Bowl the last time they got there. I think he's a lock to get 1 in that first game. And if they make it 4 games, him getting 8 is probably a little high, but like 5 to 7 is pretty realistic for Hurts. So it's chalky, but I think he's definitely an interesting play there. Kramer, do you have any more of the leader ones you like?
So to the same idea of a long shot, any interest in a Dawson Knox? 200-1. Most touchdowns, most receiving touchdowns. Is that crazy?
Oh yeah, no, not at all. Because with the Bills, do they have they don't have a lockdown number 1 target, right? I mean, you even say it is Shakir, but then maybe Coleman has some.
You always worry Dawson Knox.
It could be Dawson Knox. It could. I mean, you could talk me into any one of the Bills pass catchers. Dawson Knox, Matt Collins randomly getting 4 receiving touchdowns in the playoffs.
What's his price?
The problem is they're going to lose in the first game. But
he's only 100-1. He's got a better price than Dawson Knox.
So I will toss in Matt Collins just in case.
Really?
Just in case they win that first game somehow.
John, how was Bo Nix 90-1 passing touchdowns not tossed around in there? I mean, all he has to do. I'm like, we already know Buffalo's a look ahead spot. They're not even realizing they got.
You're talking me into it, Jay. Bo Nix
doing this to him.
Bo Nix,
he's on a heater. I mean, is there a hotter quarterback than Bo Nix coming in there? He's gonna get the maximum amount of games. And
someone in our
are you doing this?
Someone in our chat was trolling us for the pick show. Going, I can't wait to take everyone's money by betting the Bills. Everyone's going to take he goes, all these idiots are going to take the Broncos because they blew out the Chiefs. I go,
yeah.
Right. I may be an idiot who's taking the Broncos, but I'm not taking them for reason because they blew out the Chiefs. All right. That's where he's wrong about my idiotic reasoning.
Yeah, so that's sad to hear reasoning like that.
It's just sad, these haters. CJ, what are anything else jumping at you on the playoff leader stuff?
The playoff leaders, I know I threw it down. Scott out. He's one of my favorites at 40-1. Is Hollywood Brown at 80-1 crazy? By the way, for touchdowns?
Not at all.
Spicy.
Not.
I mean, he's a guy who could double up. And Patrick Mahomes has been looking for this number 1 all year since Rashee Rice got hurt. And Hollywood Brown was a guy we've been on the injured list since week 1 who we thought was coming back. I mean, he can make a nice playoff run with them. I mean, at 80-1, that's wild. I think
Crazy. Like that angle.
Can I toss a Super Bowl MVP at you?
Yeah. So
only because you remind me of it with some of your plays there. And
shout out to my boy or our boy GRP Wins.
Yes.
Fascinating follow on social.
What's he up to?
He had a Jalen Carter MVP. I think that was 400-1.
Yeah, it's in the notebook.
Someone pointed out you can get 750-1.
Loser.
He did get a bad number.
Yeah. Imagine getting 400-1 and saying it's a bad price.
Right.
Also, I do have to clap back at Fezzik for a guy who's so price sensitive. The Starbucks photos that he's taken screenshots of, he's buying it at the casino Starbucks where they jack up the price. There's a much better number on that blueberry streusel muffin at Starbucks right across town. So for a guy, should be a little more price sensitive. I'll reach out to
that. Is amazing. I mean, he is my close personal friend and confidant.
Yeah,
I don't appreciate.
I'm gonna hit him up. I'm gonna hit him up. Clear that.
He's your thought partner. That's a term I heard today. Thought partner. Yeah, he called for an international, a boycott of an international mega company, Starbucks, because he went to the one at Caesars that charges $10 for a muffin. Like they charge $50 for a pizza there. What are you talking about?
Oh my God! Don't give me. Oh, remember the March Madness? What was it? The March Madness where we got that
at the Palazzo.
At the viewing party at the Palazzo.
And then the old guy next to us got 2 whores in the time we were watching the games.
That was great. Before 10 a.m.
Two separate whores.
And that was when Purdue lost on the money line. Speaking of Fezzik. All right.
But real quick though, I just wanted to toss this out there because
MVP Jalen Carter. Yeah. That is a fun one at 750-1. Good price.
Yeah. I got one. It's better than the 400, but not better than 750. It's in between that range there.
Oh no.
You already mentioned him. I mean, Ladd McConkey at 600-1. This is my reasoning for it too. I mean, obviously, we got to get there with the Chargers.
Yeah,
in a Super Bowl. Harbaugh's a winner. That's all he knows is winning. It's not out of the realm. These Chargers make a run and get to the Super Bowl, but on a team where it's automatically quarterback MVP, bang, for the Super Bowl, the Chargers is the one team I know. I know Justin Herbert's a star, but he can do a game where he's not. He hasn't put up crazy Justin Herbert and on beast numbers. It can go to a Ladd McConkey, just like it went to Cooper Kupp that year. When the Rams won the Super Bowl. If they were in that game, McConkey could outshine it and get that MVP at 600-1. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just looking at the pricing. So I think there's a couple teams where it doesn't make sense to take anyone else but the quarterback. Like the Bills win, it's Josh Allen.
Right.
To me, there's not even – it would really be tough to get to anywhere else. But a team like the Chargers, they're 30-1 to win the Super Bowl. So if you're playing the Chargers, like let's say you're putting 2 units on the Chargers at 30-1 to win the Super Bowl, why would you not put – a tenth of a unit, 2.25 unit on Ladd McConkey? He's their only legit offensive weapon,
right?
And he's their number one receiver. And we've seen this a number of times. Like the season long MVP always goes to the quarterback, but the Super Bowl MVP that thing gets wide open sometimes.
Yeah,
absolutely. Obviously, I think it starts with the quarterback by default. But there's if all Ladd McConkey has to do, I think, is to have 2 touchdowns.
Oh, for sure. Just like a Rams, like a Puka's 200-1 similar situation.
But it is hilarious talking up Ladd for Super Bowl MVP.
It's just great. CJ and I can make a 600-1 sound like.
Yeah. Listen, guys.
Not only is it easy, but you'd be dumb not to bet on it.
All the Irish gambling credits being thrown at Notre Dame right now, just lock after lock, cash.
Oh, there you go. Penn State, just how do they blow that game?
Drew Aller, not him.
Drew Aller. I mean, as much as I enjoy killing Franklin, you got to kill Drew Aller.
So, speaking of MVPs who are non-traditional positions, well, what if the Steelers went on a run, Sean?
Okay.
What if?
Yeah.
I mean, Russ is a ridiculous 120-1.
Okay.
But TJ Watt. So
what's he even
knowing
money?
what Russ is, TJ Watt TJ Watt is 600 to 1.
Wow.
Wait.
He's at lad prices?
I mean, again,
600 to 1 for the guy who will win the MVP.
Let's take the leap that the Steelers get to the Super Bowl. If the Steelers get to the Super Bowl, I guarantee you TJ Watt is not going to be 5 times Super Bowl odds compared to
Wilson.
It's just 100%.
So
it's not
much
going to be like
CLV
that.
looking at us right here.
I mean, you want to be a CLV superstar? Give yourself a TJ Watt MVP.
Yeah. Anyway, that's fun.
Yeah, that is fun. Absolutely.
While we're talking playoff futures, this one is just for the super wild card weekend. I think a couple places had this market. They have fewest points, most points.
Yes.
I was texting with CJ with this one. Fewest points to the Packers. I'm biased, but Eagles are the number 1 defense, and they're at home. Jordan Love is dealing with nerve tingling and a funny bone issue. He says isn't a problem. If they hold them to 14 points, like my niece said, my niece predicted 26-14. If you guys want to find an exact score, I mean, if they hold them to 14 points, that might win the day. I really like the Eagles because of their defense in that game. So yeah, I think I wouldn't even. Maybe I'll take a small sprinkle on the Eagles offense most points, but really it's more for me about them shutting down this Packers defense and no Christian Watson. So I don't think it's that wild. I know everyone's just going to assume the Steelers aren't going to be able to put up points because that's, their offenses look like shit lately. But it's supposed to be a pretty cold day there in Philly. Great defense. I could see it being lower scoring than most people think. So, any of those other fun markets you got? Anything for CJ?
Yes, I saw this on. I know you'll be at Circa. They gave a lot of these offers, but mybookie.ag, an old old sponsor of ours, they also opened up this market. They have some fun ones. They have your highest scoring team, your lowest scoring team, highest scoring game, lowest scoring game. But they had a couple fun ones. I tossed this out in the text thread here. They had a biggest blowout. Which game is going to be the biggest blowout of the game, and they also had which one's going to be the closest game of scoring margin. And I like correlation almost. The longest shot for closest game was Pittsburgh-Baltimore.
That seems
I mean, the spread's 9.5. That's why. But I mean, this is a rival. This is a division. I'm not just a division rival. These are blood rivals, and they're playing for the 3rd time this year. The first game was 18-16. Yes, the last game was 31-17. But there was that pick 6. There was Russell fumbling at the goal line. That was ready to be a rock fight as well. That's a 10 to 1 in my bookie. I like playing that. And while I'm at it, the Ravens at 30 to 1 to be the lowest scoring team of the weekend. With the Steelers defense, what if it is a 15-14 game, that Boswell knocks 5 field goals in and wins it at the buzzer, something like that. Why can't this team be shut down? And by the way, let's not forget Lamar Jackson in playoffs. Kind of has a James Harden reputation, not that great. I mean, I know the Ravens are rolling, but is it out of the realm that this is going to be a tough fight game that an actual playoff game?
No, I mean, I love those. I love them. I mean, this is why this is what's great about playoff season. There's just so much, so many fun markets, so many ways to get down. Kramer, any other either futures, playoff leaders stuff, maybe even a Super Bowl MVP you want to toss out?
Well, I mean, we've had this conversation a lot, Sean. Do we really want to mess with the gods and have something that isn't Patrick Mahomes in that market? I don't.
For what?
A Super Bowl MVP. I mean, we're getting cute with it. Get cute if you want. I'm not getting involved. I'll wait for the Super Bowl. But I will tell you, you can.
What's Mahomes' Super Bowl MVP?
Let's pop over there.
That is interesting though. Is it higher than the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl?
It's 4 to 1. And what are they to win the Super Bowl? It's probably
Chiefs. They're probably a little less than that. They're like plus 325 or something like that.
Is someone really going to win it? That isn't. Just
right. I mean, maybe Kelsey.
Yeah, this game's
not on that team.
We're playing games. I don't quite understand that. I would say
Chris Jones. He like 25 to 1 or something like that.
Yeah. Long shot or fun like give me the most rush yards to be Jaden Daniels on the weekend. That's a fun one. It's 35-1.
Wow. For the weekend. Nice.
Weekend, that's awesome.
Yeah, for the weekend.
What is
35-1.
Okay.
Weekly specials if you're looking for it. The logic being last time they played, it was 16 carries. The Bucs played well in that game. I see no reason why Todd Bowles would employ a different strategy. He would probably invite Jaden Daniels to run a bit. So there's a nice ceiling there.
Easy's got to relax with this Hutchinson for Super Bowl MVP. And I'm the Dalai Lama, and I love big numbers, but this whole narrative of Aiden Hutchinson, Super Bowl MVP,
I like it.
The narrative for Hutch Super Bowl MVP is there, but
it's an elite take.
I don't know. And who will have the most passing yards on Wild Card Weekend? Bo Nix is only 11-1. I thought I was going to be blowing some minds here, but it's hilarious how many backup quarterbacks they have listed here. Malik Willis 65-1. Kyle Trask is in here. It's funny, all the backup quarterbacks are in here too.
You can get Bo Nix 5-1 just for Sunday. Only quarterback that has longer odds than Bo Nix, Jalen Hurts.
That's yeah. I mean, the problem is that Tampa Bay Washington game seems like it's going to have all the passing yards.
What do you think about a Malik Willis? Jordan Love gets knocked out.
Honestly, him at 65-1 because of the garbage stuff is.
You know what's funny? I kind of like for biggest blowout. Not to change the subject there, but like. Has your opinion changed in this Vikings game now that's going to Phoenix on Monday night?
Have they officially announced it?
They officially
announced it, and the line went from pick'em to Vikings are now -2.5 favorites. I guess because the home field advantage is getting taken away from the Rams. I guess is the process.
I mean, I was on the Rams before. It sounds crazy, but in some ways, it might be better for them. They could just take that quick flight over to Phoenix.
Yeah. Southwest, we've done it before. I'm sure that's what they'll be doing, Get
out of LA.
A1 boarding.
Yeah, get out of LA. They didn't have a home field advantage to begin with.
Yeah. Just like you guys.
They're probably
get out of LA, let the fire win, let the smoke come out, let the crumb balls like me inhale it all. And you guys go to Phoenix, enjoy a playoff game. I think, though, to be honest with you, I think either way that game could be a blowout. And they're 12-1 for biggest blowout. I can see both teams, actually winning by a big margin there. I'm not, either way, what you want to go with. I think that's why I kind of like that one for biggest blowout.
I like that. It's a double pleaser play.
It's a double pleaser.
You go both ways. Yeah, that's all. I mean, we'll see. I'm sure I'm going to fire some more stuff. The problem with the playoffs is especially with the Beeson show, is we got all day Friday.
Yeah.
Processing the same 5 or 6 games.
And we have the it's like you're just staring at the menu. And there's only, there's 6 games. There's only so many ways to cut it up.
Double pregame show. So that's even more time to talk.
Can you peek behind the curtain here? Can you let the audience know what will Friday entail for the family of SGPN all waking up in the same household? There's one of you cooking breakfast for everyone. I mean, you got a full day in Vegas. It's not like usually when you fly in mid-afternoon, you got to rush over to Saginaw's, get your plays together, get the show. You got a full day here in the desert with the family. Yeah, and the Super Wild Pod playoff menu. What's going on? Walk us through it.
Well, I'm still expecting that we'll be heading over to go, maybe eat some Saginaw's before the show.
Of course,
keep the same routine. I don't know. I'm not cooking anything. I'll say that. So if someone's cooking for everyone, it's not going to be me.
You have to take them out. You have to pick them in. You have to drop off. Say, listen, we got to hit the lab. We got to study. Do you guys
listen? We transported half the house, so that the expectation is there's plenty paying everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of activities.
We got a nice pool, hot tub.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful view of the strip.
That's smart. You made sure the entertainment was already taken care of before when you guys were scrolling on the Verbo.
Well, entertainment is the nice house. That's that's the game.
My wife will figure out something.
Yeah, there's TVs. There's also
Vegas.
lots of casinos everywhere.
Yeah.
There's lots of malls. I'm sure there could be some.
Oh, of course, there's plenty. They know what to do, but I'm saying where do your requirements go?
We got to go
Oh,
cash all the sweet Detroit Lions bets. Come back, just drop a thick stack of cash.
Take some cash,
Have fun.
get out of the house.
Yeah, have fun.
Ryan and I do more research on stuff.
But I do still want to gamble on Friday. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
What time is the cashing of the tickets? Is that a ceremony? Will that be recorded?
Yeah.
What are we looking at?
will be cash.
Pleaser tickets getting liquidated there. It's going to be a
Yes.
fun one. Make sure you tune into the VSiN show. I'm sure we'll get CJ on if he's around
no,
tomorrow.
hopefully.
CJ, are you around?
Well, as long as I'm not a double evacuation, as long as the fire doesn't get to the grid over here in Culver City, I'm gonna go back to the apartment in Hollywood maybe later tonight to see if any of the smoke damage. But yeah, I kind of like I would hope to be like the Omega Man in that town. That would be kind of great, and still do a VSiN segment. I come hell or high water, I will have a fire ladder, guys, ready for you guys with VSiN and some
Perfect. Yeah, I mean the perfect timing for the fire ladder.
Oh, yes, exactly. Timely fire
Getting the
ladder.
stick.
All right, let's close out with a real quick here.
You know I'm a degenerate.
We got a DGen parlay. Close it out. For me,
Oh, yeah.
little old school reverse correlation.
Oh, nice.
Zach Ertz, 2 touchdowns. Tampa Bay -3, 60-1. Tampa Bay is horrible to the tight ends. Foster Moreau, Juwan Johnson almost knocked him out of the playoffs. They were like the only thing the Saints could get going offensively. Ertz is a huge part of the offense. He's been racking up some touchdowns lately. He's their main red zone threat, it feels like. I think him getting in the end zone definitely happens. Laying the 3 with Tampa Bay. And that certainly could be a pretty high scoring game. So if you want to tie some other touchdown stuff in there, I definitely hear you on that. Kramer, what are you doing?
3 guys, 2 touchdowns each.
Oh my God.
And it's all going to be chalk. And 250-1.
Okay.
251. 250-1 all.
Now, I may have to use one of these on our touchdown segment on VSiN, right? Because you can't, there's only 6 games. You can't take 3 touchdown games.
I'm also playing. Each one of these anytime touchdowns could have been given out as props on this show, but they will just live in the cabinet on the top shelf in the private stock.
Private stock.
Private stock.
Joe Mixon, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts.
Joe Mixon,
Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. 2 touchdowns each. 200-1. The price doesn't seem right. I'll hold on.
That's because Damian Pierce is going to get in on the action. He's going to vulture some Mixon.
The Mixon price just moved 50 cents, and so the parlay is now 272-1.
Yes.
The Damian Pierce anytime touchdown was the favorite one that CJ gave out today, because I love that. That's a great number.
Who screws me here? Is it Mixon? I feel like
because Damian Pierce is going to get one.
There's room for both of them.
Yeah, there are. Sean is such a fanboy of Damian Pierce.
Oh, I love Damian Pierce. I thought he just ran so hard, and then last year they just kind of like let him.
He didn't match the scheme. It was a classic. Did not match the Shanahan-ian Slowick offense.
Yeah, weird scheme for him because the dude runs hard. CJ, what do you got for us for the D-Gens?
For the D-Gens, and real quick, just to point out the difference between the real fans and the fake fans. You're Jeff Sharps who come on here and said, "Hey, listen to the show religiously, but why are we late when the city's burning and you're trying to rearrange a show? Who don't understand what can I do to get the SGPN to start on time? Obviously a fake fan." Then you have people in our chat like Steph Smalls and the Juice who are just waltzing in now at God knows what time they're staying in. Hey, what's up? That's a real fan. One who knows he can stroll in whatever with your cocktail, and they'll be on 2, 3 in the morning, whatever it is. I'm just trying to say, we know the real blood. We know the real ones, as they say.
Yes.
Can I get some breaking news real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
9:41 p.m. We got this message from Jeff Sharp. Got a dip. Morning just got closer. Guess I'm gonna. And so then I literally put out a, "Hey guys, sorry, a little delayed." And then to get this response from Jeff, "Why didn't we learn about this an hour ago?"
Oh my God.
Anyways, be safe.
Anyway,
right. Yeah, we're getting an alert of when to evacuate on our phone, but we also need to put out an alert to the degenerates out there. Oh, also, we're gonna be 20 minutes late for the prop show.
yeah.
He said he felt like a patient in a waiting room. I mean, my God, we're gonna. Doctor's office is not a fun experience for me. I don't go there and laugh and have a good time.
I've never been. They've never given me Tim Patrick 2 touchdowns.
Some good-looking guy telling me I should eat healthier.
Read an old Us Weekly and shut the hell up and wait for us to do our thing. If you're,
I like the magazine, Goofus and Gallant.
All right.
The dentist office I go to just doesn't change the magazines ever.
Magazines are the only. It's the only waiting rooms are the only ones using magazines.
Yeah,
but everyone's on their phone usually. But
you ever read a magazine article in the waiting room, then you get called in and you're like kind of into the article. And like sometimes you want to bring it in with you. Like, can I bring this? This is a dentist chair. Can I bring this in? Read it, finish it.
Yeah, I remember reading like. I would, whatever those like, as a younger man, like reading the magazines of like, like whatever those like Red Book or whatever the girly magazines.
Yeah, the woman magazines for sure.
Whoa, these chicks are whores. Like it's like 12 ways to please your man. I'm like, wow, chicks do this? This is awesome. Wow, the dentist is like, yeah, you got to come in here. I'm like, whoa, women are crazy, man.
I'm gonna need that X-ray mat laying over me. I don't want anything showing through.
Yeah, who needs a math textbook to knock something down? You got that X-ray blanket.
X-ray mat will knock anything.
Sorry, yeah, you got some literal lead in your
lead the pencil.
Yeah, the chat's talking about Cosmo. Cosmo, Cosmo's just a straight up. I mean,
it's just like softcore porn.
Yeah. Every tip is just tickle the balls. That's pretty much every tip they have.
Yeah, as a young Sean Green reading a magazine article about that, I'm like, yeah, okay. Magazines are cool. CJ,
this is the SGPN After Dark show.
Yeah, it's getting loose. Give us a DGen prop, CJ.
All right, 2 things that need to happen. Same game, 1 touchdown each, 2 men.
Oh, wow.
2 men. 1, Kramer already mentioned earlier that he likes. I'm laughing at Steffi's.
I like lots of men.
All right. You mentioned Michi all up. His anytime touchdown is plus 425. I mean, that's a great anytime touchdown for a guy who's going to need to make plays. Who's one of those guys that need to step up, who can make a playoff play. I like looking at those Alabama guys. And the guy, you guys, I mean, you've been on him all year, and you finally ditched him, kind of like you ditched Los Angeles here after the smoke got filled up. But Scott Matlock.
Oh yeah,
no,
the week 30-1 for an anytime.
Let's go.
Oh my God!
This is it.
Parlay Matlock and Mechie. That's 161-1.
Yes, that's it. This is how we win.
This is right.
Does feel like it. I'm sure we'll be giving out all the first touchdown bets on the pregame show, Ryan. Saturday, Sunday, we got some sweet pregame show. VSiN late night show. 11
oh my
God,
it's 150-1 first touchdown from Matlock.
Come on, come on, man.
End the show. I can't do.
All right, we got to go get in some more bets.
There's a shuffleboard table over here.
There is. It's pretty awesome. DraftKings Sportsbook, promo code SGP. Underdog Fantasy for your fantasy projections. Promo code SGPN. Tune in to the pregame show, the VSiN shows. Subscribe to the Bottom Line Bombs with Mr. CJ Sullivan. Follow him on X at CJ Sullivan _. And of course,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green. He's Ryan.
In this house, we do real.
Great. Let it ride.
Yes.